When did everything start being just about the outcome? When do we start doing stuff just to get stuff in return? And how long are we going to let our expectations govern who we are and how we feel? A lot of times I feel like we have to let go. I feel like the more you let go, the more you have to gain in all of life. And I'm not just saying in the sense like, don't care. I'm saying don't expect. Stop holding it so fervently in your heart that, what you do has to have an outcome, has to have something that gives back. In the sense that karma exists, sometimes it's not expressed in the same way that you want it or the same way that you may expect it to be. So the point is to realize that your expectations are what's holding you back a lot of times in life. And that's not to say that if you stop caring about stuff, if you stop expecting stuff, things will come your way. It'll say that if you detach yourself from your desire and your expectation to gain something every time you do something, then everything you get is a gift. Everything you receive is a blessing. The more we allow ourselves to not expect, to not be so outcome oriented, everything that's in the start, everything we do can be appreciated to a different degree. Because we stop doing it for the outcome. We stop doing it for something that can provide us a feeling and start feeling it while doing that something. We just allow things to be as they are, and we allow ourselves to be as we are. In some ways, we have to detach from ourselves. You have to detach from the idea of yourself. Detach from the idea that if you do this certain thing, if you meditate this day, then you'll feel good about yourself tomorrow. Like, stuff like that doesn't always work that way. You could tell yourself you love yourself in the mirror one day, and then the next day you won't feel that way. But it's not about that. It's not about the conditions and restrictions we place upon what we do. It's about how we react to it. React to the absence of something happening. And in my experience, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is expect nothing. When nothing happens, okay. But express that in all things. Give it your 100% effort to live. Be an embodiment of life, not an embodiment of an outcome. An embodiment of how your life has brought you here. It's an embodiment of life itself. You know, be present enough to express yourself in every one of your actions, and don't be dictated by the consequences. Not saying consequences, not moral consequences, not stuff like that. But in terms of when we put our energy into something, sometimes I feel like all energy is a gift. And if you're truly giving something, if you're truly giving something to something, you should expect nothing in return. Otherwise, you're doing it to get something in return. And I think in all things, because, I guess that doesn't work in all things. Or I guess that is hard to practice in all things. So my suggestion would be to find anything, one thing, some sort of expressions like art, poetry, writing, working out, doing anything, but doing it for the sake of doing. We need to start living life for the sake of living life. I feel like most of our worldly desires aren't even given to ourselves by ourselves. They're given to us by the society which we choose to live in. And I feel like at a baseline level, our passions, the things we like doing, regardless of how it looks, how it is. I'm not gonna say I'm a terrible artist, but sometimes I like to draw. Sometimes you like to do stuff that doesn't necessarily benefit you in a outcome way. And it's about what it does to you inside, not what it shows to you outside. You know, when I write, when I do poetry, when I do stuff like that, it's not about if someone hears it. It's not about if somebody likes it. It's about how I feel about it and what feeling it inspires in me to do so. To do so. And I feel like once you get to the point where you sort of detach yourself from those kind of expectations, you can live your life in a way where every expression of your life is, something that brings you joy. Something that brings you back to yourself, makes you realize that regardless of your expression, regardless of the form you take in this moment, you expect nothing in return for giving your energy out to the world. And when I say giving your energy, I just mean being yourself. Because sometimes it takes energy to be vulnerable. Sometimes it takes energy to be yourself. But it's so rewarding once you detach yourself. And I think that's the general premise of what's called the law of detachment. The more we attach ourselves to our desires, the more we're victim to them. The more we're victim to the outcome. You know, you want something so bad, so bad, so bad, and you start attributing that desire to who you are. You start allowing that something to become you rather than being an expression of what you want. Then once you don't get it, once you don't get something you want, once you put all your effort in, you're left in a place where you feel like either one, you're not worth it, you weren't worth it, or you can't do something. And I feel like any sort of negativity in the realm of our desires and dreams and aspirations should be kicked to the curb. You can do everything you want to do, but you can't. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't hold those expectations as a part of who you are. Because who you are isn't the expression. Who you are isn't the expression of what you get. Who you are isn't what you have, what you possess. It's how you are inside and how you're reacting. And that's all internal. I said it in a video a couple of days ago, but you have value just by existing. You have value just by being here. So if you're watching this video right now, you know, you've made it past every trial and tribulation in your life. You've gotten to this point. You can keep going. You got it. And I'm not saying that just to hype y'all heads up. I'm saying that because it's true. You know, and in the realms of like having motivation, being disciplined enough to get to what you want. Because I feel like that's what a lot of people watch my video. Discipline, stay locked in. And I feel like with my channel specifically, with everything I do that's I feel like is expression, which is everything, I try not to expect anything. Like I won't look at my statistics. I won't look at anything like that because I feel like once you start doing something for a reaction, I'm not saying it becomes ingenuine. I'm saying in some ways we become ingenuine to ourselves, ingenuine to the art of becoming something. And when I say becoming, like becoming what you're doing, the art of being here right now, the art of being present. That's why I feel like we all need to do something that tends us towards ourselves, that makes us find our way back to ourselves. Otherwise, we get caught in the loops of society, get caught in the loops of desire, the loops of expectation. And I made a video a while ago called "What Expectation Takes Away Our Freedom." I don't know if it was titled that exactly, but it's true. You know, the more we expect, the less we're able to express ourselves and be the way we want to be. You know, you expect a lot from other people, you don't get it, you start to resent those other people or yourself. You know, you don't get it from them, or I must not be blank, blank, blank. Or though they, you know, and at the end of the day, it just is. We have to learn to not necessarily not take things personal, but don't attribute it to who you are. Because a lot of stuff isn't you. A lot of stuff is other people. You know, Seneca, I don't know if it's a Seneca quote. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But hell is other people. And it's not hell is, I've never inferred that in like hell is other people, like everyone else is hell. But my perception of other people is hell. You know, I feel like the way in which we connotate others, the way in which we connotate the world is very reflective of who we are inside. It's very reflective of how we see the world. And in saying hell is other people, it's like sometimes you have to realize that it's not you. You know, you may get a negative reaction from somebody, but you know, Sonder, everyone has their own complex life that they're going through. Everyone has their trials and tribulations. You know, we're all related in that sense. And recently I found a lot of peace in that. A lot of peace in realizing that, you know, everyone has their own things going on. But more so in the sense that, like, regardless of how someone expresses themselves to me or expresses themselves in general, I'm just like, you know, your desires are your desires. Sometimes people troll. Sometimes people do a lot of extra stuff in regards to their behavior. maybe negative, positive, but to make themselves feel positive in a way. And I mean, while that's not necessarily a good thing for society, it's something that I feel like once you come to terms, once you detach yourself from the idea that everything's about you, it makes you just be able to exist on a plane of that's not me. I don't react to it. It's not necessarily I'm not saying I feel good or bad. I don't feel anything for it, and that's sort of a blissful thing. All that to say, practice the law of detachment, yo. Whatever you're doing, I'm not saying don't do it for anything, but don't expect anything. You know, your time will come when it comes, and I feel like once we put times on stuff, even though time doesn't really exist, once we put time on stuff, that's when it becomes held back. You know, you can't you shouldn't connotate your expression, your goals, your aspirations with a certain lock to it. You know, you should just try to feel it now. Try to take that whatever future mindset, whatever future goal you wish to embody, bring it into the present. Because there is no future. There's no future self to achieve, nor past self to overcome. Everything we want, need, and are is right now and it will always be right now. That is to say, let go. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I can't stress it enough how appreciative I am for each and every one of you. I'm trying to put in another live for y'all. I'll restate the question because I don't know. I didn't get a clear consensus, but I'm thinking about starting like a podcast channel, or should I make a whole separate channel for the podcast and just do like heavy on that and then keep the videos over here, or should I just combine the two, just bring my podcast onto this channel? Y'all let me know in the comments. All in all, I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope you're trying to be intentional. I hope you're not taking things too personally. In all things, you know, hold on to your reaction. Hold on to how you feel about yourself, and make sure you're being intentional with how you feel about yourself. Because at the end of the day, that I feel like that's truly the all governing thing. How you feel about yourself, and I feel like once you feel good about yourself, you feel good about your expression. Once you feel good about your expression, anything you make, create, do, say, think, it's part of that. Once you feel good about that, your perspective is all good. And once you feel good about that, your life is all good. So keep being y'all, keep being great. All in all, thank you.